It is a beautiful day on your flashy professional program, Public Relations. I'm happy to be here again. So also are my guests who have come from far and near. Let me quickly introduce Professor Taiwo Tani. He is of the School of Business. He is the Sub-Dean, School of Business, Lagos State University. And also a lecturer in the Public Relations and Advertising Department. You're welcome, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And also have with me our erudite scholar, a friend of the house, and a man who professes a lot. Is a philosopher, a member of the Philosophical Association of Nigeria, and he is also in the Department of Communication and General Studies, Kolam Road, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, listeners.
We are today looking at public relations and political campaigns. You are fully aware of the era in which we are in now, and towards 2023, we will be having a plethora of activities, campaigns, rallies, and the like. And of course, that is now our focus. We want to look into how should political campaigns be organized. What are the ingredients that the citizens of this country will have and benefit so that we can have good governance, and then at the end of the day, there can be dividends of democracy. So join me now. Well, remember, your anchor is Akin Okudero. You're welcome, our audience. So, Dr. Tani, can you let us into the evolution of political public relations?
Well, as you're aware, democracy and politics started from the old Greek state.
Yeah, that's right.
The idea of democracy. But political campaigns and how we see campaign today started from the United States. And it has to do with presidential elections and state elections in the United States. And it's not quite different from what we have here in Nigeria today. But of course, because of the advancement of their own democracy, it started the way every society with some teething problems will start. It started with local elections, but the main political campaigns that is well known all over the world started out with presidential campaigns in the United States, and it has developed all across the world, and the whole world has benefited from democracy and from political campaigns, as it were.
Thank you very much. From a philosophical angle, how will you describe political public relations? And then what are the benefits for political campaigns?
Well, political public relations, if there's anything like that, because politicians...
Of course, you won't be here if there's nothing like political public relations.
Yes, I know, I put it that way because, yes, there ought to be political public relations in which the message is objectively packaged for the benefit of all that are involved. But usually politicians are partisan, and they tend to project themselves and sometimes paint their opponents black. However, the benefits of political public relations are immense. In a country like Nigeria...
I'm glad we agree now.
The benefits are immense if our politicians will practice it. Now, in a country like Nigeria, for instance, it was in the news this morning that the federal government pointed out that the continuous rise in the price of crude oil is not even to the benefit of the country. I now recall that there was a time President Obasanjo was saying exactly the same thing. See, what politicians say when they are in power is usually different from what they say when they are out of power. I have always believed that from time to time there should be an all-politicians summit where they should agree on certain principles on what to say and what not to say and how to say certain things. So if they are able to do that, they will be guided by the principles of public relations, and the benefits to all and sundry will be immense.
Well, perhaps the issues that in our terrain here, in our climb here, there's not much of acceptance of public relations in the life of politics, even though some of them will claim to engage in political public relations. But Dr. Tani, let me put it to you that from your research, how will you view the percentage of political public relations into the life of politics and political campaigns?
Well, without prejudice to what Prof has said earlier on, I think there's a wide gap between public relations and propaganda. Propaganda is what politicians engage in a lot. Public relations, as it were, will address that Section 2 of the Constitution of Nigeria, which talks about fundamental directive principles of state, which talks about using the power of the state to take care of the welfare of the people. And so public relations too also addresses what you call taking care of the interest of the people. And so if we engage in public relations, true public relations will actually take care of the interest of the people. And so when politicians are engaged in, even at the fiercest level of politics, the interest of the people will be what is paramount. But as we see in Nigeria, that's not always the case, because of the fact that political positions in Nigeria are some of the most lucrative positions you can find in the world. And in most cases, what you see is winner takes all. You see the victors and you see the vanquished. And the vanquished get to behave like sore losers for 4 years.
Winner takes it all.
Winner takes it all. And then after 4 years, they begin the mudslinging and all the bad things that come with politics. But when you talk about public relations, you talk about doing things in the interest of the people, trying to galvanize public opinion to support governance, and that's what political public relations should actually be all about.
Well, thank you so much. Prof,
Yeah.
As a philosopher, and I know that when you philosophize, you begin to look at the human beings, you begin to situate them into the environment, and you begin to derive certain things that will be for the common good. Have we benefited from political campaigns in Nigeria?
Well, a straightforward answer to that question would be no.
Why do you say so?
Yeah, I say so because the approach to political campaigns has always been that of mudslinging and propaganda. When people are doing are campaigning, they tend to paint their opponents black. They deny, they will portray, they will claim there is nothing good about their opponents. And funny enough, even though they will agree that no human being is perfect, they will also give the impression that there is nothing wrong with themselves and their political party. So now, political campaigns ought to state certain things very clearly. One, it will bring out what is called ideology. The approach by which you want to run the government should you gain political power.
Manifestos.
The manifesto should be clear, the things you want to do and how you intend to go about them. How you even hope to raise the fund for those things, because it is the fund available that will determine the things that you'll be able to do and the things you will not be able to do. The tax regime you are likely to engage in. But you can see a group of politicians may even claim that the people in power at present are overtaxing the people, only to increase the taxation when they come into political office. So at the end of the day, it appears in Nigeria for now, the purpose of political campaigns are always to gain power, not necessarily what they intend to do with their power. So the people actually have not benefited a lot. But it ought to be an instrument of mobilizing the people, an instrument of political enlightenment, and so on and so forth. So far, it has played limited roles in that aspect.
Well, do you agree that there have not been any benefits?
Well, to a little extent, we've seen benefits.
Okay, maybe before you continue, let's just have this break. We'll be right back. You're welcome, sir. Honorable. Please sit down.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded?
It is still your image, your public relations program on TV. My guests are still on seat, and let me quickly introduce another very important guest here today. Is Honorable Johnson Olufatoki. Is a political analyst and also a former member of House of Assembly in Ogun State. Honorable, you're welcome, sir.
Good evening, sir.
We met us discussing public relations and political campaigns, and we are continuing with our discussion, and I will continue with Dr. Tani. When you look at the rate at which campaigns are all over at a particular point in time, and do you see it as an organized program in relation to public relations campaign program?
Yes, maybe public relations campaign programs actually have a definite style and strategy that you would want to go through. But political campaigns in Nigeria mostly don't go through, I mean, there's a different kind of style to political campaigns in Nigeria. We cannot say that it has not been effective for those who engage in it, because it has to a large extent raised political awareness and political participation among key stakeholders in politics in Nigeria. But however, because of the fact that politicians most times do not engage the services of professional public relations experts, what they do is get journalists, get media people to run political campaigns for them. And political public relations is different from information gathering and information sharing, which is the business of journalists. And so we haven't seen effective public relations practice in politics in Nigeria, which is about anticipating what will come. A kind of proactive actions taken on politics rather than a reactive action on politics. That's why you see that most times media officers for politicians tend to try to defend their candidates rather than having proactive programs that would help defend the image of their candidate. So to a large extent, because we have not practiced public relations as it should be practiced in politics in Nigeria, we haven't seen it to be as effective as it should be in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tani. Of course, we have in the House a honorable member of the Ogun State House Assembly who can throw more light into how the game is played, whether public relations has been embraced in political campaigns or in politics as it should be in Nigeria. I think let's have your own say, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me start by to the little knowledge I have about public relations. Major factor of public relation is using the fundamental factors to really address people, the way you can interact with people, to the way you can win heart of the people, passing information, if possible educating in order to get, but there is always a target point. When you do public relations in marketing product, it's a bit different from marketing human beings. Now, but when you look at the approach to campaign in this part of the world, politics is evolving. We're progressing. We are not there yet. But the fact remains that because the politicians find it necessary to get across to the electorates, either through the media or through the house-to-house campaign, sort of, and the idea is to sell the manifesto. The idea is to sell the potentials of the aspirants or the candidates of political parties. And people will not see, they'll be able to adjudge, they'll be able to really, let me say, look at the values, look at the inherent in the person in question. So if somebody is present himself, him or herself for elected position, and there's no public relation, there's no interaction with electorates, then there's challenges, serious problem.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable. It is not that some politicians have not embraced public relations. We are looking at the depth, and we are also visioning. We are looking into the future and how the game should be played. Public relations entails that you have a total research of the candidate, of the political party, of the environment where the campaigner wants to operate.
Looking at the SWOT.
Looking at the SWOT analysis, strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats. Of course, at times they now say it is towards, they turn it the other around, looking at the opportunities. So, well, the issue now is that I know politicians in this climb believe in public relations. If not, they will not be hiring foreign experts on public relations. Is it that they don't have confidence in the local public relations practitioners?
To be, I believe the in-depth or the effective utilization of population is not there. I've mentioned that. As a matter of fact, selling candidates, in most cases, instead of being factual, being scientific, they throw lies, deceit. And when you are passing information, if we are selling a particular candidate, you want to project individual or a political party for that matter. In a civilized society, what is expected is whatever you say today, whatever promise, whatever manifesto you put on the table should be actualized.
It's a binding words.
It's in a developed nation where you fail to comply to the dictates of what you promised, it is impeachable offense. Individual can, or group of individuals can take such person or a political party to court.
I think we'll get there very soon in Nigeria.
Right. So the public relations, as far as Nigerian politics is concerned, we are not even there. There's need for orientation.
Okay.
There's need for the political class. It's not a matter of somebody that have to go to university. If you are even school child holder, there should be seminar. People should be should be trained. Yes, so as to know the importance of public relations. When you vote for people, when you campaign for people, and people appreciate you, they vote you, you'll be able to, and you follow your promises, your manifesto, you'll be able to deliver dividends of democracy.
Thank you, Honorable Prof. And I think we need to get full understanding of public relations. Public relations is not about when you are going into an action. It presupposes that you have a vision and you are able to visionize and say, okay, in 2-3 years' time, we begin to plan. That's what public relations needs to do. It will begin to prepare you for that assignment and begin to prepare the environment, prepare you, connecting you to the people, so that by the time is the campaign period, people can see the good work, they can see the mutual relationship that you have organized among the people, they can see the project, they can see all those things, and they will speak for you. Of course, this is your public relations program on TV. We're going to stop here, and then next week we'll continue with this discussion on the topic public relations and political campaign. Dr. Tani, I thank you for coming all the way from Lagos.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
We would love to be having you. Thank you very much. Prof. Professor Onyekwere Nwaogu, I say once again, is the head of department, General Studies and Communication and General Studies, Colombo, University of Agriculture, Abeokuta here. We are glad to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure being here.
I hope next week you join us.
By God's grace.
Honorable, it's a pleasure having you here, and we believe that we are going to have more of you next week, when we'll also be continuing with this topic. Thank you very much for joining us.
It is my pleasure. It's the service for our community.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate that, sir. Viewers, this is how we're going to end today's program. Next week, same time, join us when we conclude on this discussion. Thank you very much. Bye.